Alright then guys, this is Alan with the part 2 video for our crappy Orzhov deck. This was supposed to be the final Dominaria draft, but given the fact that this draft was incredibly bad, I think I'm going to make another Dominaria draft after this, but this is the part 2 video. We drafted a pretty bad deck, but somehow RNG kind of favored us and gave us 6 and 2 currently. The reason why this deck is bad is because I believe being cut from we were being cut both white and black, I think, from both of our sides. Um, and I had a feeling about that since we didn't see any amazing white or black bombs. We're actually main decking 2 Invoke the Divines, which already tells you that the deck is lacking playables, good playables, and however, this card has been quite an overperformer, not gonna lie, just gaining us a lot of life, freeing us from a removal base enchantment, and also destroying icy manipulators and deep freezes. So I'm actually quite surprised with the double main deck Invoke the Divine. I would never really do it unless I'm lacking playables like in this deck. But overall, it actually helped us in a lot of matchups and actually did a ton of work. So I'm quite surprised that the double Invoke the Divine actually stole some wins for us. As you can tell, this deck is pretty bad. There's some pretty terrible cards that you should never be playing. Sometimes, like a Spartan Construct is pretty bad. Charge is pretty bad. We're not really looking to go wide, but it is kind of pretty much filler that we're playing at this point. What else is terrible? I guess Drudge Sentinel is really bad. I'm only playing it because it's a 3-drop and it can maybe trigger the Knight of... Not trigger, but give the Knight of Grace the extra +1/+0, which actually has happened in a couple of our matches and actually did a bit of work. But overall, it's a card you should never main deck since there's too much fungal infection and 3 generic is too much to keep up. So yeah, this is a terrible card. Yeah, all 3 of these cards are terrible. And then looking at our 4-drops, we're actually playing the Cabal Paladin as a filler 4-drop. I know it's really bad. We don't even have that much historic to trigger it outside of Karn, Arvad, Partic Wanderer, and Aspiring Construct. And we don't even have that many 4s. Like there's a Planeswalker, Double Eviscerate, Dark Bargain, kind of as our filler 4 drops. The best cards in our deck are Arvad, and it has 0 synergy. Since we have like 0 legendary creatures to actually pump it. But we were pretty much tempted to take it throughout the draft because we saw pretty early on and we were committed to black and white early on, but somehow it does happen in draft. You kind of see the open lane, and you try to make the best intentions for your colors by staying open, sticking with one color, and knowing what the secondary color is open. You get rewarded with your Signpost uncommon, but then throughout the rest of the entire draft, you don't even get too many amazing cards because I believe people from both sides close to you are cutting you off of your best colors. So it does happen in limited sometimes. You try to draft with the best intention and sound logic, but even then your deck ends up pretty mediocre. But Arvod's definitely one of the best cards. Karn, of course, pretty powerful, help us win some games. Just a nice card draw engine, essentially. And then the -2 ability in the late game, once you have enough loyalty, you can start generating creatures that can start beating down. Knight of Grace also quite amazing in this deck, same with Pegasus Courser. And then like double Windgrace Acolytes is pretty decent since we're also running more to Folly and Soul Salvage to help recur our creature. And we're just playing a random Partic Wanderer. It's not a great card. At the end of the day, it's just a random ground blocker, but it does give us a little bit of synergy if we want to generate artifacts with Karn, Scion of Urza. But yeah, this deck is pretty bad. I don't even know I don't think main decking a Power Stone Shard will even make this deck even better. I mean, it does have artifact and historic synergy with the Cabal, but overall, I don't really want to play a 3-mana card that does absolutely nothing in a deck that already has 17 lands to get to the late game. Yeah, so essentially, yeah, if you want to see the first part, it's an example of like drafting well, but not getting rewarded, and you're just kind of given this mediocre deck that you somehow got to 6 wins with. I honestly don't think this should have been a 6-win deck. There's like 0 powerful bombs. The closest thing to a bomb is probably again like Karn maybe, but even then Karn is not like unbeatable. Like you can eventually deck yourself. If you don't have a deck with powerful cards, Karn is going to be pretty bad since you're just drawing steam all the time. I don't want to say the word steam. You're just drawing garbage all the time, like lands and whatnot. But I'm quite surprised this deck actually made it. And white-black is supposed to be pretty aggressive, but somehow our decks seem to be more grindy. Most of our games are long matchups where we're trying to recur things with Soul Salvage, Memorial to Glory, and use card advantage via Karn and Dark Bargain. So yeah, overall, I think the MVP of this deck has to be the Invoke the Divines. I can't believe I'm actually main decking 2 copies of a sideboard card and getting away with it. The life gain is relevant, helping us to stay alive, and then the opponent could just have, again, annoying enchantment-based removal, and artifact creatures and items and artifact creatures and cards that we want to destroy. I haven't destroyed any sagas with Invoke the Divine, but I'm actually I'm waiting for that to happen. But yeah, overall, I think we could have been in some sort of blue-black control deck with the Imbolus Clutches that we picked up pretty late. I kind of I took the Imbolus Clutches pack 3, pick 2 over a Deathbloom Thallid, which, you know, a Deathbloom Thallid would definitely be a huge upgrade in this deck. I would probably cut one Invoke the Divine or charge and go for the and play the Deathbloom Thallid over one of these cards. But yeah, I don't. It hasn't come up. It hasn't come back to bite us yet. But yeah, we could have been in some sort of blue-black control deck, but throughout the draft, as you can tell, there weren't too many amazing blue cards, and we were actually taking some blue cards as our alternate secondary color if we were to abandon one of our own colors. And the best card we did take was Imbolus Clutches and Memorial to Genius. We didn't see a single blink of an eye get passed to us, not a single Cloud Reader Sphinx, or even a not a Tolarian Scholar, an Academy Journey Mage. So blue actually seemed kind of cut off too. Same with red. We didn't see any amazing red cards. The best green cards we saw were Grunda Lonely King and Sapperling Migration. So yeah, it was a weird draft overall, but we do have some pretty good 2-drops in white, a powerful removal like Seal Away, Double Invoke, which surprisingly has been effective, Arvad, a couple of flyers and Eviscerate. So yeah, even though I don't like this draft deck, I'm actually quite surprised it got pretty far. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna move on to the final boss, and even if we don't win against the final boss, I'm still gonna upload this video. What did I just cut? No way, I'm not cutting the best card in this deck, Invoke the Divine. Let's start done. I don't know why that glitch is happening. Just want to rearrange this so I can take a snapshot of this. Yeah. Anyways, I have no idea how we managed to even get these wins. It's just it's pretty insane how we even got to 6. We were playing against decks that had literally better cards than us, way better cards. We beat a deck with double Cloud Reader Sphinx and also a I think it was Academy Drake, and we killed one of the Cloud Reader Sphinxes, and he still soul salvaged them back. So I have no idea how we defeated 4 of those flyers, and we also used up an Eviscerate, and I had to trade Arvad, and we also got blown out with a double block via Pegasus Courser and Windgrace Acolyte on a Academy Drake, and we still managed to beat that game. So if you want to see that matchup, it was the final game for the part 1 video, and yeah, it was really insane. I have no idea how I even got there. I was not expecting to win that matchup. But regardless, I think this video is worthy of an upload. It's again an example of drafting with the best intentions, the best sound logic, making the right choices, but still not getting what you want, and having no idea if you should have just transitioned into your tertiary color pack 3 or something. But yeah, let's fire off the final boss, and maybe we can get lucky. We'll see. But I'm probably definitely going to fire off another Dominaria draft after this. This is definitely not deserving of a final Dominaria draft, which is going to be over in 1 day. But at least I made back my gems. I'm quite happy about that result. But overall, this is not what you want to do in a. This is not what you want to be doing. Not what did this. Overall, this deck is not something that should be getting 7 or even 6 wins. I think 4 would have been the maximum for this deck, and that should have been it. Because I've been playing against very tough opponents. I've drafted better decks than this, and those decks have actually performed worse than this one, believe it or not. Even with bombs like Song of Freyles, Imbolus Clutches, and Fight with Fire, and Slimefoot, I've actually I've actually gotten 4-3 with those decks recently, and I still have no idea how this managed to even get 6 at this point. And this is a 2-minute long wait. Alright, preparing for the final boss. What's the ranking? A gold opponent. Come on, you can do better than that. But I shouldn't underestimate a gold opponent because I just underestimate my deck. And I've actually kept hands like this with 0 black on the draw, and it actually turned out pretty fine. So I guess I'll keep it here. You never know when you'll top deck your black source, and Double Mesa Unicorn is the decent start to a draft. Should never underestimate your opponents, just like we shouldn't have underestimated our draft. If he attacks me for 2, do I block? Probably not, because I can just swing back. He's probably going to stay back with this. And I guess I don't mind a trade then, and then we can just play out the other Mesa Unicorn. This is also a pretty bad card. No blocks. No reason to block it. I guess I don't mind just gaining 2 here and attacking, and then maybe we can trade the other one off. Or I can just take 2 again. Okay, well, maybe we just get punished this time and never draw our black mana, because if we don't, we can just essentially just lose this. Could see a fungal infection. Yep. And then he's going to block with a 1-3. Makes sense. Why is he not blocking the 1-3? Well, if I lose this game, it's going to be quite embarrassing because the opponent is actually making some pretty bad plays, I think. I'm definitely going to trade for this Cabal Evangel now. I'm actually hoping he stays back, and he is. Okay, he's staying back now. Do I attack? No, I'll stay back. Just need a land off the top. I am running 17 lands. I guess one of the games we also lost because we didn't get a land drop. Okay, that's the reason why I traded. Well, there goes our 7 wins. Gonna take 5. If we don't get a land, we're pretty much screwed because we'll be taking too much damage. 5 damage per turn to be exact, and we're playing against a mono black deck with some pretty bad cards. Well, I guess we're just gonna lose to Chainer's Torment. So I guess Invoke the Divine would actually be pretty good now. Finally, black mana. I guess I'll save the Eviscerate for the Chainer's Torment. The calls can definitely hold off the Paladin here. Chainer's Torment is a little bit risky because of the fact that you actually lose half of your life total. So just to note, it's not always going to be great. And the opponent's playing mono black, he could just get back his okay, that has Menace, but we can maybe deal with it. So I just need a land, maybe I can start Windgracing, and there's no reason to double block, we'll just trade for this, he can always get back. Seal Away. I guess Seal Away is not too terrible. We can Seal Away the Stronghold Confessor and then use Eviscerate on the Chainer's Torment. And there's no protection spells in black that will protect this Nightmare Horror. Sure, he can maybe sack it in response with a Vicious Offering, but it's not going to do much. And he also can't get it back. And I can also trade off for this Cabal Paladin, so I think I'm in decent shape. He can always sack his Memorial, of course, to get back the Cabal Paladins. But I'm stabilizing quite nicely here. I think I just need to like get a land drop. Well, this is annoying. Happy trading this though. Yeah, I think I'm happy trading. I do need my land Eviscerate though for Tishar. I guess Eviscerate isn't bad against Tishar. What can Tishar get back though? It's pretty much a Cabal Evangel, so I don't think I care. But this can be quite annoying. But maybe he might have something that I'd rather Eviscerate instead. And we do have some decent blockers with this, so I think I'm okay just playing out the Courser. Whisper, okay. Whisper is quite annoying. I don't mind just a land so I can play the Windgrace and maybe gain some life. Thanks. Huh. Play out the Windgrace. I don't want to die. And the lands, I don't really want to mill the Soul Salvage, but I gain some life at least, so it's not that bad. And I don't think I Eviscerate the Tishar because I'd rather just Eviscerate the Whisper. I guess he can sack and get another Cabal Paladin, but I don't think that's going to amount to much. Definitely blocking with the 2/2. It's a good trade for us. And if he wants to sack just to get back the Cabal, I'm fine with that. Oh, he's just going to get them back. Okay, sure. So I do need to have some good ground blockers now. Invoke. Invoke can deal with the Voltaic Servant, but I do have a Cabal Paladin I need to deal with, so maybe we just keep milling ourselves. Although maybe Arvad can trade for it. Arvad doesn't seem that bad. You can save Invoke for something else like an On Sarah's Wings. But really this match is all just about stabilization here. We could just take 4 here. Nah, he can always deal with Arvad, so I think we just trade here. Until we find land for Partick Wanderer to help us stabilize against these cards. I have an Invoke already, so I didn't mill away my Memorial, so that's fine. Do I just attack for 3? He's going to attack back for a bunch, but I don't mind attacking just for 3. He can trade for Tishar, and then maybe I know he can get back with Whisper, but maybe I can kill Whisper before that happens. He might just sack the tokens and bring back Tishar, but that's fine by me. He's bringing back the Paladin. I guess he can sack and bring back the Tishar and ping me. So he's trying to ping me twice, I guess. Maybe Partick Wanderer can hold off these annoying 4/2s. More Sergeant Arms, okay. This isn't great. He can attack us for a bunch. Do I mind taking 4? Like, I really don't mind just taking 4. Karn. I think it's just a Partick Wanderer here. That's a good blocker. And then maybe we can make Karn. We can play Karn to start making some tokens to stabilize. Don't know if I'm blocking the Windgrace Acolyte. Probably need to trade off for it though. I don't think I can afford to attack. This is only when you cast, so even if he brings back Tishar, it's not going to trigger. And Partick Wanderer is a good blocker against the Cabal. This isn't going to deal damage to me, so if he thinks he wants to bring back the Tishar, it's not going to work. Sure, it's not going to trigger, but he does generate a flyer. Do I care? I guess I'd rather just make an artifact creature token to block off the 2/2s, and we can pass. I don't really think I need to draw cards since I have 13. I don't want to deck myself. The question is, do I block Teshar? Probably not. I don't mind just my Karn taking 2 and I can start drawing cards with it still. And if he goes for an all-out attack, I can make some good blocks against him. Urgros, that's a scary one. Yeah, I guess we're losing to a bad deck. He can also deny me the life gain by sacking the Evil Take Serving, so I don't know if I even want to invoke the Divine here. I mean, I can just make him use it. It's pretty annoying. Guess I don't mind trading for Urgros, and then Karn can take 2. Or I can eviscerate this, but again, he's just going to sack it in response. But he can always just sack things to bring things back, so I could just eviscerate the Whisper here. I think maybe eviscerating the Whisper is correct. And then we can just say go. We can block the 4/3 so he can't bring things back. I guess he can always Memorial to bring it back, so this is quite annoying for me. I could also just let Karn die, and then I can go for some sort of all-out attack against the opponent. But the cast down is gonna pretty much kill me here, I think. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think this is an example of maybe a white-black historic deck that actually works and has synergy, unlike ours. Okay, alright, that was a 6-3 draft. I'm definitely going to do another Dominaria draft after this. But yeah, this deck sucks, but it's fine. I got up to 6 wins at least, and I can be joyous about that. So yep, let's claim our prize. Alright, let's see. Dominaria draft. Pack 1, pick 1. What do we have the fine pleasure of opening? Alright, I'll take a Time of Ice. Nice aggressive card, can be used defensively as well, but better on the offense, so something like Blue-Red Wizards or White-Blue Historic Flyers will definitely benefit from the Time of Ice more than the Blue-Black Control deck, but I wouldn't mind playing this in the Blue-Black Control deck, but I'd rather maybe have like a Syncopate or Blink of an Eye. Slimefoot versus Icy, this is very tough. I don't know. This is the most flexible card, but Slimefoot is definitely a bomb if you end up in Black-Green Sapperlings. Icy Manipulator is a great card, but has more flexibility. Yeah, this is rough. I'm a more conservative drafter. Maybe just take an Icy Manipulator. I guess Slimefoot could also be Splash if you end up drafting green, so never mind. Maybe just take Slimefoot. Because, I mean, even if you end up like Red-Green Kicker, you can maybe have a Grow from the Ashes to splash the Slimefoot, and this is just a powerful bomb. Great enabler it's a great enabler and a payoff for the Black-Green Sapperlings deck, so definitely a Mythic Uncommon. Probably take the Slimefoot here. This pack is not great. Probably just take Fire Intervention. Sanctum Spirit, I've been unimpressed by. And even if you give this Indestructible, who cares? You're still discarding a card. And most historic cards are actually pretty good, unless you're running a bunch of bad historic cards, but you don't really want to discard like your legendary creatures for the most part. So probably just take a Fire Intervention. I'll probably take Calico Skin, which I guess, I mean, Saproling Migration is usually better than Spore Swarm. I think Spore Swarm, I mean, 3 Saplings for 4 mana is quite a lot, since 4 mana for 4 Saplings is usually just better. But if I was already in a Saplings deck, I would take a Spore Swarm, but Calico Skin, which is a very impressive 2-drop, excellent blocker in the early game, and then in the late game, the opponent might not play around it, and they end up discarding 2 amazing cards from their hand that you rather not have them play, so it's definitely a very powerful 2-for-1. I'll take a Wild Onslaught, powerful card if you're looking to go wide. Especially great if you can kick it, but either way, if you're playing lots of tokens and lots of creatures, it can just definitely get out of hand. So Wild Onslaught is really powerful. Definitely better than Charge. Wizard's Retort is also decent, but I wouldn't take over Wild Onslaught. Jousting Lance, decent common that you don't mind playing in a creature-heavy deck. So there you go, our Dominaria draft. I'm going to do one more. I don't think this one was worthy of a final Dominaria farewell, so I'm going to hope that the next one I do ends up as a very good deck, and we can maybe get 7 wins with it. And then we'll start doing some more. We'll do some Amonkhet Remastered. But in the meantime, stay safe, guys, and have a wonderful day. Take care.